Hello, hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about having a routine. New Year's is here, and I figured this is as good a time as any to talk about this. I'm not a New Year's resolution guy personally. If you want to do something, I think you should just do it. Don't wait for some arbitrary date just to push doing it off for longer. As I've gotten older, I've been putting more and more of emphasis on doing the same things consistently at the same times each day. Throughout my life, I've usually just winged things and did them based on how I was feeling. Take working out for example. The people who are the most dedicated to working out, they go on specific days with specific workouts planned ahead of time and go to the gym at very similar times. They may go Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. in the mornings before work, or go after work at 6 p.m. each weeknight. Each time they go, they have specific things that they do, like push days or pull days. Doing this allows their body to adjust to the schedule, and then they have the expectations that they have to do it. And over a long enough period of time, it becomes wrong if they don't. It's not very often that people can go to the gym or work out, just in general, over a long period of time by doing it sporadically. Giving yourself leeway in this scenario almost always fails you in the end. For example, if you decide to take a day or two off, it becomes a very slippery slope. 2 days off turns into 2 weeks off, and then turns into 2 months off. And then who knows when you'll pick it up after that. This can be applied to anything in your life. It's as simple as brushing your teeth or going to bed at the same time each night. In my experience, doing these things at the same time makes it easier to do them, and even makes you happier. I'll get into that later in the video though. There are two main things that you can make a routine for. One is your daily life. Like I just mentioned, these are things like showering, brushing your teeth, going to work, going to school, things that you have to do. Technically, you don't have to clean yourself, but I would highly recommend it, for the sake of everybody else at least. The other routines are optional routines, things like working out, eating the same consistent food, studying at night, homework time. Pretty self-explanatory. These are routines that are hard to make stick, or at least hard to make good routines stick. Since they're optional, they're not only good routines, but bad ones as well. I would consider this to be anything that hinders your life and makes you unhappy. Pretty vague, but your problems could be anything. I have no idea. A personal one of mine is not being able to fall asleep early. Although I do try to go to bed consistently, it is way too easy for me to just go on my phone and play stupid Flow on my phone and scroll Twitter. Bad routines are easier to fall into as they revolve around temptations. When you're eating healthy foods, for the most part, it takes more willpower to not eat a candy bar than it is just to eat it. In this scenario, similar to working out, one candy bar turns into one the next day, and then the next day, and then so on. This will turn your cravings from healthy foods and then make you start craving the bad shit. Temptations can ruin good routines and then make bad ones take its place. I'll be honest, I'm not a consistent person. This is one of the reasons why I'm making this channel, to prove that I can become one. Some people are wired differently. They are more easily able to create and follow a routine. I'm someone who's struggled all their lives with it. On average, I would say I can stick with something consistently for about 2 to 6 weeks. Anything from making YouTube videos to working out. But at some point during that time frame, for one reason or another, I skip a couple days and then fall off the tracks. If you're watching this, I have a feeling you may struggle with the same thing. I'll be honest with you again, I don't have any easy solutions. What I do have though are my own thoughts, and we will call them theories on routines and consistency. These stem from my own experiences and are some things that have helped me stay in routines for longer. Nothing sticked permanently, but if I took my own advice, I would be a perfect human being. The first one I want to talk about is having a foundation. Having a foundation basically means find a non-optional routine. Mainly going to be work or school for most people, and then build off of that. This forces you to follow at least that routine. Wake up at 7 a.m., get ready and go to work at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, do work things until 5, then go home. And then from there, you can do whatever you want until you go to bed. This is nothing groundbreaking, of course, but it's something you don't even think about because that's just how you live and how you've always probably lived. Once you spend an extended period of time unemployed, you realize just how important it is to have a foundation. I was unemployed, well, I still am, but I'm back at college currently, for like 15 months. I won't get into the reasons here, but just know that I didn't have anything going on other than hanging out with friends or family during that time. This period of time was great at first. I could wake up when I wanted to, had a shit ton of free time, and just did whatever I felt like. Not too long afterwards though, I started spiraling. I was going to bed at 4 a.m. and waking up at 1 p.m. every day, hiding in my room most of the time, getting unhealthy. During this time period, I tried multiple times to get a routine down. Wake up at 9 a.m., get a shower, eat, work on some YouTube stuff, exercise, work again, eat dinner. You get the point. It sounds great on paper and it's really pretty easy and simple, but putting that into practice as someone who is already bad at staying the course was a fucking nightmare. I got fatter, became super lazy, was just very unhappy. I would say I tried pretty hard, but if I did try hard, then I wouldn't have felt like that. Something about having no foundation killed my motivation. The best way to put it was that since there was no urgency, time felt unlimited, so I just didn't do anything. In a way, I regret this time period, but also in another way, I don't because I learned a lot about myself. This period led to the conclusion that more free time does not necessarily mean a better life. The best balance is most likely somewhere in the middle, like most things. So this period of time was followed by going back to college and moving across the country. And at first, I was extremely tired. For the first couple weeks, I would be dead by the time the weekend came. Part of this was just how much walking I was doing on campus. After a month of having my schedule and doing homework, I started to feel more and more energized. The human body and mind is meant to be used, not sit around and rust. The second theory I have is that you almost have to rewire your brain into enjoying whatever it is you're seeking. Each day you have a set amount of willpower. Some have more than others. Every time you do something that goes against what you feel like doing, that set amount of willpower gets smaller. What things you don't feel like doing? Working out, eating healthy, studying, etc. What is the easier option and takes no willpower? Scrolling on TikTok, farming in Stardew Valley, and eating ice cream. This is why most routines fail. That initial burst of willpower you get when starting something new has a limited lifespan. Each day you will not recoup enough willpower to make up for the willpower you used in the previous day. Therefore, you will eventually succumb to the temptations of scrolling on TikTok, playing Stardew Valley, and eating ice cream. In order to assist your willpower, you must train to turn the activity you are forcing yourself to do into an activity that you actually enjoy doing. Why do I play Stardew Valley instead of making a video? Well, I enjoy playing Stardew Valley way more than creating videos. It's literally that simple. What if I enjoy them equally, or at least comparatively? If that's the case, then I will have to use the willpower to make the video, but it will be nowhere near as much if I did not enjoy it at all. This begs the question though, how do you train yourself to enjoy something you don't like? For me, and I still have to work in this department, is that I try to find nuance in what I do. Rather than view something from the bigger picture and keep my eyes on the prize, I try to do things one day at a time. For all my life, I've been impatient, and whenever I set out to do something, I will look ahead and imagine how good the ending of the journey will be. This does not work. While having goals is certainly important, it cannot be the only focus. Goals are achieved by doing small things that eventually add up into one big thing. You want a six-pack? Work out and eat healthy daily, and then eventually you will get a six-pack. But it's way harder than that. And for most people, the simple goal of getting a six-pack provides nowhere near the amount of motivation needed to achieve it. You have to stick with it consistently through a routine in whatever way works for you. This leads into the last thing I want to talk about, which is planning your days. You want to hit a certain goal by the end of the year. Years are made of months, and months are made of days. If you don't look too far ahead and just focus on the day in front of you, staying on track is a lot more manageable. You can only see so far into the future, but you can easily forecast your next day. If you write down the main goal somewhere and remind yourself of it, just write it down each day and do whatever it ends up being. Something that always gets my days jump started is getting up early and grabbing a shower. Doing this almost always sets me up to have a good day. Just recently, my classes ended for the semester, and I did not want to have to get up for anything. So being a dumbass, I stayed up until 5 a.m. one night reading the manhwa Legend of the Northern Blade, and that killed my sleep schedule. Since that night, every day, I have felt like shit and don't want to do anything. Luckily, I'm flying back to Jersey for the holidays and then coming back, so that'll be a nice reset after this 2-week trip. I actually wrote that before I took the trip, and now that it's over, I can say it has definitely helped reset myself. Though I ended up getting sick during the trip after 2 nights of drinking. Usually if I'm sick, once I get better, it's also another way to reset it. I don't know why, I can't really explain it, but it just does. In general though, if you're stuck in a rut and have no idea how to fix it, try to find a way to reset it. I know I said I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, but it can help reset yourself. The problem I have with it is that it makes people procrastinate doing whatever they plan on trying to change. So if they're waiting for a New Year's resolution, it probably won't last. Of course, I'm about to contradict myself, but there's also no better time to start up a good daily routine. when it comes to actually making a routine, sticking with it is not always easy. It's not supposed to be. Failing at keeping it is extremely common and nothing to fret over. I read something somewhere, and usually that means someone's about to say something crazy, that it takes a cigarette smoker about 11 times trying to quit to finally do it. Again, that might be completely made up, but from personal experience, it took me a million times to quit vaping, so I mean, it's somewhat true. Either way though, failing is a great way to learn and figure out what best suits your schedule. Using a routine from other people online should be used as an example, not your own schedule. Keep tinkering with yourself. That came out wrong. Even if you struggle staying consistent, keep trying. Even if you need to take breaks for a while, that's okay. Life is a roller coaster with ups and downs. The more you try, the more likely you are to find something that sticks. Don't rush yourself and take life day by day, with an overarching goal that you will eventually succeed in. Anyways, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I guess have a great year.